Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. This morning I come down here, I've got a few things that I wanted to plant and talk to you just a little bit about these medicinal plants. I've had several people ask me about my planting in my medicinal garden. I know we talked about we was going to do a bunch of stuff with it this year, and I really hadn't filmed a lot on it. Now, just to let you know where we stand with it, what I done is I let it grow up because I had to take the tractor, push a lot of the topsoil back, cleaning this up, and it just wasn't good soil. I tried to start some seeds in it, and they really just wouldn't grow good because it was hard packed ground there, and the seeds had just washed down, and it just wasn't doing like I wanted, so I just kind of left it alone. One of the easiest ways to get medicinal plants, especially the native wild medicinal plants, is mostly what I'm shooting for. I'm not shooting for outside stuff that I've got to do a lot of work to make grow. So I let it grow up so that I could compost it. And I'll take the camera and show you around a little bit in it as we do this. But there's a lot of this different weeds and stuff that I just let grow up. And then I've come in and cleaned out a lot of it. I've thrown a lot in my compost basket to be composting. But a lot of it I just gonna chop down and let it lay there. And it'll decompose and compost down into the soil. So I'm kind of in a soil building process. You see there's a lot of goldenrod. Right behind me is a lot of wild lettuce. So that's what I want to talk to you about. This has already went past a lot of its blooming stage. I'll pull a little of this off. You see, this is the wild lettuce blooms. Now, it's still in a couple of different stages. You see the pod, some of it is still blooming, but that fuzzy part is the seed itself. And you see those little bitty seeds, they come out with these fuzzies, and that's part of the seed right there. So, I'm going to show you what I do when I want to help spread seed. This is one of the easiest ways to do it, and I've got something else. So now I really don't need any more here. You see that I have a bunch of it already because I did this last year. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take, let me see, okay, I just took my knife and chopped just this top part off. Now this plant will still, as long as it's in the ground growing where I cut it off, and you see the lactocarium coming out of it. A lot of people, you know, is it really wild lettuce? Very, very bitter. So let me show you how I go about this. Now there is a spider web, and you see it has got seeds caught up in it where they have been blowing around already. So I really don't need to do this here. It's already got plenty of seeds everywhere. So just for demonstration, what I do is take this into an area that I want it to grow, literally just shake it. I'm naturally just kind of banging them seeds out and make sure they coming out in the area that I want them in. And from there, y'all let nature and God take his course and do what he wants to do. But you see like this, you see there's still a lot of purple blooms on there. And I know you can't really tell good. See that? See, it's still blooming. And you see I've got goldenrod here that is not, the altissima has not bloomed yet. The canadensis has already bloomed. The rugosa is blooming, and I don't have any of it here, so I'll be digging up some rugosa and bringing it up here just to have it in this area. But as I was going to tell you, I wanted to show you. See, I cleaned from this bottom side of me a trail up in here, and you see all this weed right here that's growing everywhere. I come in here and chopped a lot of it down with my hoe. I cut down a lot of the poke weed. See, I've got some nice poke berries right here growing. Some of them is already a little past prime. I eat like 1 or 2 or 3 of these berries a day. I don't chew them up. I just kind of swallow it like a pill. That's good for inflammation and good for It has cancer fighting properties. I don't know exactly to what extent it is into cancer fighting, but it is just a good thing to have. I've got some willow. You see this is black willow, which is just common willow here. This is a good pain reliever. The bark, the inner bark and all, you can make basically like aspirin. And I have brought in, you see the beauty bush back there is in berries all on it. But I've got right here, this is sumac. And I know everybody thinks sumac's poison. This is not poison sumac. This is just sumac, and when it matures a little, it'll grow a red seed pod thing on there. You can make a good, like a lemony flavored drink. You can sweeten it with honey or sugar or whatever else. But I am just in here, I let it grow up this year, in other words, to see what was naturally already in place. Because I started trying to put some seeds and I was like, well, whatever's already naturally got roots in the ground needs to grow. And then I realize in this middle now, I have a big open space. So I'll come in and start putting my stuff. I also needed to figure out right where the shade was hitting, what was growing good and what areas wasn't growing good. I may need to expand it, move it around, whatever else. Obviously, shade trees like these pines that's behind me and all, they keep a lot of good stuff from growing right up under it, but it is also an area that certain things will grow really well in. So let me show you one more thing. Okay, you see like right there, that is cardinal flower. Some of you guys have been seeing this here and there and yonder. I brought this one in and transplanted it here. Now this right here is Bloom's Purple. This is giant ironweed. I'm gonna do it the same way I did the wild lettuce. Not this one, but I'm gonna go cut some from a different area, bring them in here and take the tops and just shake them all in here. Just because I want the seeds to grow. I'm gonna do that also with some of the rugosa. Now that rugosa I'm gonna dig up and actually transplant a physical plant in here, as in some blue mist flower, a couple other things that I can get readily available. But the cutting those seed tops off right now is the time to do that because they're in their natural process. The time of the year is right for that, everything. So you can take them seeds and just shake them out. Let God and nature do the rest of the thing. Here's the next thing. I stopped the other day on the side of the road while I was traveling. And what is known as a bodock tree. I picked up some what is called hedge apples. This is Osage orange. The reason I wanted this is nothing to do with medicinal plants, but it's transplanting stuff. This is a hedge apple, okay? What it is an Osage orange. This is from the Osage trees. Down south, we call them, it's Bois d'Arc. We call them bodock, okay? All of it the same plant. What I'm gonna do with this, just throw it right there. I have picked up about 5 or 6. It don't take many. They're starting to rot in an area. That is fine. I'm gonna throw 2 of them in here. I'm gonna take the other 3 and throw them along this wood line back another place because I want some bodock trees to make bows out of in the future. This is a long-term thing. Y'all, I'm like Johnny Appleseed. I heard Mike Reed say the same thing of medicinal plants, but I plant a lot of plants like the wild lettuce. I brought a lot of this wild lettuce here. Now the pokeberries, I hadn't fooled with them. They naturally spread themselves, and the wild lettuce does too. But I have helped the wild lettuce. I have helped the goldenrod to get here. So you see the elderberry and all that. I have done the same thing. Now, if you got elderberries that made it past the birds, in other words, you got dried clumps of elderberries hanging on them, snip that off, take that to where you want it, and just throw it out in the yard where you want it to grow. These seeds will break down. They naturally want to reproduce, so they will go into the ground, stay till next spring, and resprout, okay? So just some tips on y'all helping you get your medicinal plants into your yard, into a place where you can find them, because it is not really safe to be parking on the side of the road, hunting medicinal plants up and down the ditch banks. They spray them. You never know when they're going to spray them. Thousands of reasons. I'm not so worried about the toxic fumes out of an exhaust pipe going by. I'm sure that's not helping them, but that's not my biggest fear. My biggest fear is the county comes along and sprays them. If they sprayed them yesterday and you stop and picked them today, you're picking poison and the plant still looks healthy. It'll take it about 3 or 4 days before it starts wilting at all, and then really about a week and a half before it really dies. So you have to watch those things. Power lines are the same way. And I know a lot of us, you know, we'd like to have these few plants in our yard, and you can't let a 50-acre place grow up just to have medicinal plants. So if you can pick everything and get it consolidated to one small area like what I'm doing, then you can bush hog your pastures and not worry about having enough medicinal plants. I'm trying right now to stage to leave a lot of area growing up in the search of some plants that I cannot find. I can't find stinging nettle here. I have found substitute plants to do the same things. Kudzu is one of them that'll do a lot of the things that'll do, but you just have to get to what you want to an area. So this is one of the good ways to do it. I'm gonna throw the rest of these hedge apples out, finish my coffee, and then I gotta get back to work. And I wanted to show you right here. You see how these nature has done this. You see how fuzzy all of this is, and see this is already broke over. All I do, and since this one's already broke, I just cut it like that. Look, just make sure them seeds get shook. You can hang that up and let it finish drying a little better. I'm not really harvesting a lot of medicinal plants this year, guys. I know I wanted to do, and I'm gonna cover a few more medicinal plants that I haven't ever done. But a lot of the stuff that I can really find, I have already covered. But one of the big things is I've got most of dried herbs that I need. I don't want to just keep storing a bunch of herbs that I'm not using. And I put dried herbs up. The main things I need to deal with are injuries, basic colds, and just some temporary stuff. I'm a pretty healthy person, so I don't need a lot of medicine. I don't use a lot of medicine, not even medicinal plants. The plantain salve, good for bites, stings, that kind of stuff. You need that. You need the wild lettuce for pain relieving. If you get aches and pains, you need the goldenrod and the rabbit tobacco and such as that for colds and stuff. Other than that, I don't require a lot of medicine. So that's why I haven't really done a lot of videos on harvesting medicinal plants, because I haven't needed a bunch. But I'm gonna go throw these hedge apples out down here in the edge of the wood line. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. We'll see you next time. Remember, the best way to do things, the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all.